Republican Congressman Michael Waltz of Florida. Congressman, you know, it really is mind-boggling because now Americans, they're flushed to a degree, and yet they are saying they are so afraid. This is American public saying that they are so afraid things are only going to get worse. And it's so interesting to me. How surprised are you, though, that the White House won't listen and they still are going to try to force through this social infrastructure package?
Well, you know, the president has this long-standing, well-known stubborn streak. And you know, on the one hand, he's been around for 50 years. On the other hand, he has 50 years of preconceived, baked-in notions, many of which are wrong. We saw it with Afghanistan. Now we're seeing it with inflation. I mean, Charles, you know, we had $1 trillion left unspent from COVID before he even came into office. And he put $2 trillion on top of it. And now the total spending of this bill is going to be $5 trillion. We haven't even started talking about the normal budget, which is about $1.5 trillion. So the printing presses are white hot. Well,
one area they might be able to spend the money is on settlements. You know, of course, a week ago, President Biden called scuttlebutt, if you will, of those 450,000 per migrant separated at the border garbage. Well, now they seem to be changing the toll, and they're claiming, hey, listen, the money is due because parents lost their children. But when I listened to President Biden say that, I was sort of shocked. We know families were separated, but were any children actually lost?
Well, you know, I think when he said it was garbage, that was probably the old Joe Biden coming out, and then he went back to the White House, and the progressives got a hold of him, and then corrected. I mean, this is just going to create such a magnet. It's going to pour fuel on the fire. They already know all they have to do is get a toe into this country. They get taken care of, housed, and shipped into the interior with a notice to appear, you know, 3-4 years from now, right? And then now they're going to get paid on top of it. 40% of the girls making that journey are getting sold into human trafficking or sexually assaulted. But when I go around to town halls, veterans who aren't getting the services they need, schools that are already overwhelmed with class sizes and underfunded, and now we're on track to pour 2 million people a year on top of those services and overtax them. That's one of the reasons, on top of inflation, people are so upset and his numbers are so low.
I want to switch gears. A book I like, it's called The Mouse That Roared. It was a tiny nation. They declared war against the United States. We never knew, right, because they were so little. They sent a letter to the State Department. It was misplaced somewhere. And I'm bringing it up because over the weekend we learned that China is actually building missile targets that are shaped like our aircraft carriers and destroyers out in the remote desert. And I'm just wondering, what is our relationship with China? Are they the Duchy of Fenwick, and are we at some kind of war with them and we don't even know it right now?
Well, I think they're at war with us, and they certainly are in a cold war with us, and America needs to wake up to it. I mean, President Xi of China is openly talking about replacing the American dream with the China dream. He's not talking about competing. He's talking about winning within the next couple of decades, and a key part of that for him is to take Taiwan. Why does that matter to most Americans? Well, China will then control about 50% of global GDP and 40% of trade. Everything heading into South Korea, Japan, Malaysia, Australia. China will then call the shots. And a key piece of that is to be able to defeat our aircraft carriers from coming within range of Taiwan. You know, they are launching these missiles left and right. They're building them on overdrive. And the thing that has me so upset is that American money, our tax dollars, are fueling their military buildup. Wall Street, with Larry Fink and BlackRock, is telling their investors to triple down on China investments, and they're turning around and taking that manufacturing base and cranking out ships, missiles, tanks, and planes at a rate that we've never seen in modern history.
I got to tell you, Congressman Waltz, that's why it reminds me of the book, because we better wake up and realize we're in a serious fight. And President Xi, for whatever you think, he is one serious, determined dude with a game plan. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure talking to you.
And he smells weakness in the White House right now. It's a really dangerous window.